Hey Charlie, this is take 6. I'm not good on video, so I'm going to be rambling a lot, and we're both going to have to deal with that. This is Kiki. It is 9 o'clock, so I need to stop playing guitar to annoy neighbours. But I'm going to get this video done. I'll send you some more tomorrow, and hopefully remember to send them to you on time. So the snake. You'll have got a recording of me playing it in a different key. I'm playing along with the Al Winston version. As I'm sure you figured out, the difference between the Al Wilson and our version, and the version that we do, it's just a case of fifths. So that recording is... Our version is... So they start off there, so it should look vaguely similar, but of course, when you go to the next chord, you may find it a bit more different. We'll worry about that later. The first thing to talk about is what you need to be spending time on, and what you mentioned to me was the strum pattern. Now, in the recording, I largely keep to the, and for this recording I'm going to keep it in A minor, so you've got one thing to think about. So usually you've got that. So let's go into, so first bit, what that is. So what you've got going on for that, it starts on the and, but if you're going to start thinking, so maybe start thinking about counting it out in your head. Because the way the rhythm goes, it's and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Where I'm going 2 and 4 is where the percussive hit is. I use that to keep myself in time. So James, your brother, is going to be your best friend. James, your brother, is going to be your best friend for this one. I don't know whether I look at his hi-hat or his top or his snare. I can't even remember which, but I'm in tune with one of them, and I just use that as a thing. So it's a bit of a funny one because you've got to roll in at the beginning. If you fuck up the first bar, that's fine. Just get into it, because he's going to tap you in, and you're going to be going and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It sounds insane, and I don't know how. Steve is watching South Park in the room next door, and he's going to be giggling at me by the amount of times I've been going and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I want you to have the same problem. Your lovely wife Jo is going to be giggling at you, saying, or partner, I can't remember which, sorry about that. Your lovely Jo, she's probably going to be laughing at you because you're going to be going and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The percussive 2, 4, it's the backbeat, because the word on the street is that's the fire. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing Wonderwall. I'm rambling and drifting off, but I'm going to keep this video going, so I do apologise. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Oh shit! I could never do much lessons. Just keep that rhythm going. Get a metronome. It's 144 beats per minute. Keep going with that and sort of like nail that down. Now, in the previous video that I had going on, you'll notice that from the second verse onwards, I start doing some different things. Now, where I change the rhythm, it's because I'm used to the band, and when you listen to the recording, there's 2 different guitarists that's going on. One, he's doing that 5th. So the 5th is 5th. Fuck you, George. 7th. You don't need to add it. What you need to be doing for that, if you're comfortable with that and wanting to do something a little bit different, start adding the 7th. Do a little bit of a sus, if you really want to. But whenever there's just one guitar that's going on for it, which is the case with a lot of our songs, it's far more important for us to nail down the rhythm than it is to do any faffing on top of it. So just that is a general principle that I found for it, where I'll hear a nice song. There's two lovely the second guitar, the quieter guitar's always got the lovely things that's going on. But in order to keep the heart of the song going, you've got to be just nailing the rhythm and providing that rhythmic function where you're hitting, you're just keeping the soul of the song sort of going and being in lockstep with James and Neil. Both grumpy, miserable bastards, I'm sure you'll know. They're still your best friend when you're in the band. So just keep that driving thing going, because without that, the song gets a bit more chaotic and everybody else, and it loses its edge unless you've got that rhythmic foundation going on. The rest of the song can fall apart, so it's far more important for you to be doing the rhythm rather than any faffing, especially for this song. Now, where the faffing does it is involving... Because I think in the record... that's not... yeah. Yes, and that's the next thing that I've talked about in different videos, but not in this one. You don't need to do the same chord shapes that I'm doing. You don't need to... I always go down, because I got used to it at the beginning and it just sounded better. You can in fact, one thing I'll do tomorrow, and I'll experiment as well, just to see if it sounds good, and I'll get back to you if it sounds terrible, is I always go low for the second chord, because you'll have it goes to the relative fifth of the thing. Fourth! Relative fourth! Fuck. I'm not... sorry. You go to the relative fourth of the song whenever it gets to the chorusy bit. Now I always go lower, you can go higher. In the recording they go higher, in the recording they go lower, but the recording starts off higher. So I'll have a play around and see it, but if you find, because I do find, like, especially when it's... Getting to that F can be a little bit tricky. So you may find it better. Yeah. If you find it like that. Because the other thing to note about it is that I tend to find I don't want to be playing the first two strings too heavily. It adds a bit too much bass to it, and it's got a nice choppy element to the song. Not too much distortion. I keep on trying to got a new amp, so I'm playing with it. It's really fun doing the distortion, but you just want a light crunch for it. With my setup, it's a new amp, so I don't really know what the settings I've got on it. I'm trying to turn it off, but because I'm playing with the preamp, it's a bit funny. You want to keep it like it's a nice chop, so slight element of crunch and distortion. And what's quite nice about it really is the thingamajig, the compression, a little bit of that, just to squash it down and tighten it up a bit. That's what you want, but you still want it at high end. So for this I've got both pickups on, because both pickups with this guitar still gives it gives it a bit of chop, because it can be a bit too bassy when I've got it just on the rhythm, on the bridge pickup. So for your guitar, I imagine you may want to have it on the middle section for this, the middle pickup. Depending, I've not really played with many strats, so you can do it. So give it a nice little bit of chop on the higher end, but keep it sort of together. But you've got single coils in yours, so you might find that the bridge pickup does you fine. So that's on tone for it. I think the main thing for the song is just nail that bit. Oh fuck. I'm going to find other things to talk about that I don't know if I've covered in this one, and I'll probably do in the